What do you get when you mix a health coach and a wellness coach mixed with a lot of curiosity? You get two people who ask a lot of questions about health and wellness. Today we ask, why does my weight fluctuate so much?
You are doing all the things, exercise, watching your calories, but your weight goes up. What the heck is going on? Let's get started as we ask.
Wait, what? I feel like I had to intro that different because this is exactly my life.
I know. You're
Yeah.
like, today I ate a
Wait.
piece of cake and I lost weight. What
Yeah.
happened?
And then I get on the scale and I'm like, wait, this what? That's why I didn't do it in my normal tone. So it was
Seriously.
it needed a different tone today.
I agree.
Oh, yeah. It was just, but anyway, let me start with saying I feel like I haven't talked to you in like 3 weeks, but I
I
text you
know.
5 times a week. And I still feel like we haven't had a
We haven't had to
traditional
catch up.
yes. So where should we start?
Well, do you remember what your call to action was from a couple weeks
I
ago?
do. My call to action was to really look at my sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna say I mean I went over my sugar. Went over it, but it was conscious. It was, I'm gonna do good, quote unquote good. I don't hate to say good and bad, but I'm gonna stay on track and then splurge and have my ice cream at dinner or
Mm-hmm.
whatever I'm having after dinner rather. So not good, but intentionally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was just like, you know what? I'm making excuses, by the way, when I say this, I'm fully aware of that. I was just in the mood where I was just saying, like, I only have 2 more weeks of school till summer. Like, I'm gonna be going to bed earlier. Just eat your ice cream now. Just take the kids out for ice cream now. Like, all of those
Mm-hmm.
different things.
I have found that the sugar challenge has been harder than the protein and fiber challenge.
Yes. And can I say something about it? I think it's also harder because I don't feel a difference in my body.
Mm-hmm.
When I ate enough protein and fiber, I could tell a difference in my body.
I
I could
totally
tell a
agree.
difference in how I felt. I wasn't hungry as much. Um, I didn't want sugar. But when I'm not trying to eat the sugar, I feel hungry all the time. I feel like all I
Absolutely.
can think about is sugar. I feel like it's the to limit my sugar, I need to watch my protein and fiber.
You
Period.
know, Isaac from our last episode about blood sugar and diabetes, he said something that was really important, which I think is actually true, but you forget to live it in your real life.
Yeah.
Is if you're focusing on the not, I shouldn't eat sugar, I shouldn't have dessert, I shouldn't, then that's all you can think about. But
Mhm.
if you say, well, let me see how I can add protein, let me see how I can add fiber, those are doable tasks. It's almost like a very desirable challenge because you're like, oh, I got this and I got that and I did this. When you're thinking on the negative, it's really hard to feel positive about it or feel proud about it because you're like, well, there's nothing to show because I didn't eat it. So what?
Right. And I didn't feel it either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm glad we did it though because I feel like I don't I don't think sugar is really a problem for me.
I don't either. I don't think that's my problem either. I think that's why I'm struggling with this because it's not as challenging.
Yeah.
I have to watch it for sure, but
Yeah.
it's not the same thing.
I'm not getting up. I mean, don't get me wrong, if it's in the house, I'm eating it. But
Mm-hmm.
if I don't have it, which I typically don't have it, and if I typically just stick to ice cream every night, maybe every other night or something, I don't think that's a problem, and I don't wanna live my life without it every other night.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And maybe
And
I'm
I
delusional, I don't know.
no, I don't think so. I think
Okay.
it as we age, our taste change, obviously. But for me, I have noticed that things that I used to love taste too sweet. They don't taste good with because they're like so super sweet.
Like
So
what?
it doesn't. I went somewhere and it was like a bunch of desserts. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
an event, and I was like, it looks beautiful. I want to try everything. But then when I ate it, I was like, this is too much sugar.
Really?
Mhm. That
Huh.
didn't mean I didn't clean my plate because that's
Right,
what I've been
right, right.
taught, but
I think I can relate to that a little bit. I think
yeah.
there's times when I'm yeah, I can relate to that. but
Anyway, so you did fair with your CTA then.
I didn't I mean, if you were looking at it strictly from my numbers from my app, I didn't do fair. But I'm giving myself a fair because I consciously made those decisions and I did think about them and I was like, "Oh, I should be watching this, but I'm having it anyway," kind of thing.
Okay.
You know? And I still
Yeah.
did things that were better, like I didn't have donuts because they were there, or I was like, "No, I'd rather have ice cream tonight." Like, I think
Right.
that's what I was just consciously saying, "Well, if I have this now, then I'm not gonna have ice cream later, and I really want
Sure.
the ice cream later."
Yeah. That's fair.
So anyway, that's it.
I think my call to action was to do protein before I go out.
Oh, yeah, it was.
And
Mhm,
I'm
it
glad I
was.
remembered. When I did it, it helped me a lot. It helped me so much. I would either make a protein shake for myself or I would eat something that was protein rich, a handful of nuts or something that would
So you
satiate
did
me.
do it
Mhm.
every
No,
time, or
no. I was
okay.
doing really well, but last week was, it
Yeah,
was what it was.
yeah.
I didn't really do it great, but when I did it, I noticed that I wasn't like, "Oh my god, let's eat because 'cause I'm so hungry."
Mm,
And then when you're in that mode, you eat, you're like, "Oh, this tastes
yeah,
good. That tastes good. This is good. Let's order that. Let's get this."
so true.
So I think the protein it's gotta stay. I need it.
And so what were some of your proteins? You mentioned, like, a handful of nuts, did that help?
Yeah, if I had like an itch for I need something, and I
Yeah.
would eat some nuts and I would be on my way, it was fine. The protein shake was a big one for me. Um, I just mix my protein powder with a banana, a date, almond milk, and ice, and that's it. And it's good to go. I was making the protein bars at home. I think I can't have too much of the protein powder though, because it makes me bloated.
Okay. Good
Um,
that you know that, though.
yeah, I can have it like a few times a week, but not more than that.
Mhm.
So, or protein rich foods. If I ate like a quick snack with something, like some hummus or
It
some,
helps you.
yeah, the veggies and the hummus, it just helps a lot.
It's so important. I think we forget.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm paying attention to this because I notice when I feel full and when I'm like, oh man, I just ate a meal, but I could still eat more. It's because I haven't had enough protein.
Mhm. It's a really good thing to notice.
Hmm.
It is. So, alright. Well,
Well,
are you
I
gonna
need to
keep doing it,
know.
by the way?
Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna try because I think going to a party, I don't want to be like, what's to eat? What's to eat? What's to
Oh, I
eat?
know.
I want to be like, who's here? Who can I talk to?
That's always second after what's the food? What's the cake look like? That's always second. Who's here?
Yesterday, I went to a party and we were in line for the dinner, and the dessert was already set up on the side. It was at an event hall, okay? And they had like mini cupcakes, and somebody's like, "Oh, the cupcakes are really good." So before dinner, I shared 2 mini cupcakes with 2 friends.
Oh
So we're
my
like
gosh, my
sampling the
favorite
cupcakes.
person. Were they delicious?
They were pretty good.
Sometimes I love mini cupcakes more because I tell myself, "Well, they're mini, so you can have one of each flavor."
Mhm. Well, we shared because we
Yeah,
still had to eat dinner, but
you're so
whatever.
good, I wouldn't have shared.
It was good.
Man, I love cupcakes.
So, that you're loving this week.
Oh, so what I'm loving is, not anything typically new, but the brand is new. I've been buying avocado oil spray for a long time.
Mhm.
It's the, you know what I'm talking about? Instead of like a Pam or canola oil or one of those, I've been buying avocado oil spray. So I
Mhm.
spray all my pans with it. When I'm cooking, I'll use that if I'm not using olive oil. And forgot I needed it. I usually get it at Costco, but this time I was at Target, and Target
Oh.
has the Good and Gather brand.
Mhm.
And I want to tell you guys that I scanned it on Bobby approved, and you know how he's really, really strict.
Yeah.
This got a thumbs up from him, and it got a 90 out of 100 from the Yucca app.
Oh,
So
wow.
I just wanted to tell everybody because I don't know, if you're in a pinch. I mean, by the way, to me, they all taste the same. But sometimes you never know what brands to get and what not to,
Sure.
maybe there's some that aren't good quality. This Good& and Gather brand avocado oil spray is good.
So wait, does it work the same as like, you know how Pam, when you use that, it nothing sticks. Does it work the same?
It works the same. However, when I made my egg cups with it, it didn't work, but I think it's my pan. My pan is one of those really old muffin tins, and
Mm,
I think it's that. So I'm not holding it against this because I cooked eggs with this today. I did, some other things with this, and everything was fine. So I really think
okay.
that that was my pan, but yes, that's what it does. It's like your
Yeah.
oil, your source of oil. So,
Okay. That's
yeah,
good to know.
I love it. I think it's great. I would highly recommend avocado oil for anybody that needs a Pam type thing.
Hmm.
I mean, they do I think they make an olive oil one now too,
Hmm.
but this one is particularly good. It literally the ingredients are avocado oil. That's it. There's nothing else in this particular, um, what is this called even? Cooking spray.
A spray. Yeah.
Cooking spray. Yeah. So, that's my
Nice.
something I love this week. Super easy.
You know, before we get into our topic, I wanted to mention to some people who may not know, we have episodes first on subscription for just $2.99 a month on Spotify. If somebody wants extended information from our interviews, or we do our trash talk and we put that on there. So if anyone is interested, it's pretty reasonable and you get a lot more shorter episodes, but quick and digestible bites.
Mhm. Different little different and extended versions of what we're talking about.
Right.
Yeah, good reminder.
So, you were asking me why I wanted to talk about this topic about why our weight is stuck and why it doesn't really seem to make sense.
Yeah,
You know,
you said, "Let's do an episode on the science of weight loss, like, what's happening?" And I was like, "Alright, let's do it," but I was, like, just going with it, so tell me why you wanted to do it.
so the reason why is because a lot of our members in our call to action groups and some of our in our weight loss group, they are frustrated with the rhyme or reason on what happens on the scale. And they get frustrated or they're like, "Man, it went down and I just partied all weekend. I don't know what
Mhm.
happened."
Or there's,
And
like, I didn't deserve that."
yeah,
Yeah,
we heard that recently. I don't deserve that weight loss or I
yeah,
don't deserve the maintenance. So I was just really curious about, even our own personal things of, well, I just had fun all weekend, but my weight is either maintained or it's gone down.
right,
What's that about?
and then you do really good, and it's, like, the opposite, you gain, and you're like, "What the heck?
Yeah.
I don't understand." Yeah.
So I really wanted to know what the science was behind this.
Alright, so we dug in, we went into it.
Yes. So, okay, I found this article and I kind of want to go through it because I think it's already written out as an
Okay,
example. And I think the points are going to hit home because it did for me.
okay,
All
good, I
right.
can't wait to hear it.
So, this is from Physique Economics, is Physiquonomics.com.
Mm, okay,
Okay. And this guy goes through an example, and I'm going to go through the example with you. And he goes through the week. So on Monday, the first day of your diet, you step on the scale to weigh yourself. And after a bit of number shuffling, the machine spits out a number 160 pounds.
okay,
On Tuesday, you do the same thing, and the machine spits out the same weight, 160. However, Tuesday was a really stressful day at work, and due to work stress, you didn't sleep properly. As stress levels increase, cortisol increases and some water retention occurs.
mhm.
Okay, so you haven't eaten
Wait,
anything different. You're
wait,
just
yeah,
stressed out.
I wanna stop you right there. So
Okay.
that's what happens when your body releases cortisol, you are holding on to water?
Yes.
Okay, I don't understand why, but go on.
Oh, okay. I have an explanation for that. You want me to tell you now or later?
No, you can keep going.
Okay.
We can go back, yeah.
On so on Tuesday you got the same number, but you had
Right,
stress at work. On Wednesday, you step on the scale and the number is 167. That's 7 pounds in one
7
day. You're
pounds.
like, what?
Right,
And then you're like, but I've been sticking to my diet, I'm exercising. Why am I gaining weight?
yeah,
So you put it behind you, you're annoyed, but today's the last day of the project. You got to work on that. So you just, whatever. Wednesday comes to an end, deadline met, project finished, and you go out to celebrate with work colleagues. You drink, eat, but keep it controlled and have fun. You're so exhausted when you get home, you fall straight to sleep. You wake up on Thursday, you wake up feeling rested and energetic. You look over at the scale, dubious. but you step on it and you weigh yourself, and now you're 159. And you're like, whoa, what the bleep?
Yeah.
I just lost 8 pounds.
And you
You're
went
like,
out and went to a restaurant and enjoyed
yeah,
yourself. Yeah.
you're so proud. You get ready for work and you're like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Thursday's an easy day. You have a few emails, conference calls, you leave work, you meet up with your significant other to go for dinner. You get back home at 11 p.m. You're feeling a bit peckish. So seeing you have some calories remaining for the day, you decide to make a small snack. Have
Okay.
you ever done that where you're like,
Oh,
I have calories left, so I can eat them?
for sure. Yeah.
Okay. So on Friday, you weigh yourself and you're at 161. You're like, what? 2 pounds? You're annoyed because you think you gained weight,
Yeah.
but you
And because you
failed.
had the calories to eat. Sorry,
Yes.
go on.
Yes,
Make me
absolutely.
feel it.
But you fail to realize that normally you have your last meal around 8 p.m. And last night, your dinner finished at 9 p.m. And then you had a small snack at 11 p.m. This is what caused the fluctuation. So you look over in the mirror, and to your surprise, you actually are looking leaner. And you say, I'm pretty sure my abs weren't that defined before, but I can't be leaner. Surely the scale is showing that I gained weight. You sigh and get ready for work, taking one last look at your new definition as a smile crosses your lips. Later on Friday, you remember you totally forgot it was a guy from work who you don't really care about's birthday, and he invited a bunch of the guys out. It slipped your mind and you weren't able to factor the occasion into your calorie totals. I'm
Okay.
totally blowing my diet today, you think as you stare at the numbers on MyFitnessPal or whatever you tracker
Right.
you use. Friday night, you go out and you totally blow your diet. You
Okay.
drink and eat a bunch of high carbs, salty foods.
Okay.
On Saturday, your head hurts as you come to a reminder of last night's revelry. You
Mhm.
look in the mirror and you're looking watery and soft. You're not like defined like you were on Friday.
Right.
You stare at your reflection and you get on the scale. What do you think the number is? What do you
160.
think then? 172. You're pissed off. Convinced you ruined your diet and progress, you begrudgingly step off the scale. You're not feeling too hungry today, so you just eat to hunger. You also hit the gym, a stressed, focused upper body session, a strength focused upper body session, and a bit of light cardio at the end. Still not fully recovered from the night before, you go to bed earlier than usual. Sunday, you wake up and look at your clock, 11 a.m. You slept for 14 hours. You're feeling a lot better today, and the long sleep was needed. You get out of bed, and though you're afraid of what you'll see in the mirror, whoa, you think. You're looking infinitely leaner than you ever have, and you're convinced you dropped fat as your abs appear to be popping. You step on the scale, and you're 159. Isn't that like a typical week of what the scale looks like?
It's exactly up and down, up and down, up and down.
And we put so much emphasis on, oh my God, it's up like 5 pounds. It's up
Right.
7 pounds. Isn't
Wow.
that crazy? I just love that example because he wrote it out sorry,
Yeah.
the person wrote it out so properly. It's like this makes so much sense to me.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then
And
the emotions.
yeah, I've also done that where I feel thinner. I'm like, oh, I've never seen abs, but I feel it. Like,
Yes.
oh, I can feel thinner. And then the next day I'm like, what the hell happened? I didn't do anything different. Or.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Well, he hit it all.
there,
He hit everything that could cause it to go up and down.
absolutely.
Mhm,
Absolutely.
mhm.
So then I was looking at there are two phases of weight loss. Did you know this?
No, I did not. I don't think I
So
did anyway. Go on.
the first stage of weight loss, and I know I've experienced this and I'm so proud of myself, is when you lose the most weight. And that usually happens within the first few weeks.
Okay.
And in the beginning, your weight loss is mostly due to water loss.
Mhm.
When weight loss tends to happen more rapidly in people who follow a low carb diet than those who follow a low fat diet, because a low carb diet means for every one, let me have a number here. For every gram of carb, you have 3 grams of water. So when you lose carbs, you lose water also.
Wait, say that again. For every 1 gram of carb,
Carbohydrates, yeah.
okay, is 3 grams of water?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. What?
So when you're it's just the mechanics of having carbs.
Okay.
Your body holds onto the water. So if you're eating less carbs, and I am not advocating for giving up carbs,
No, I'm not
but
either.
when you're eating less carbs, you get rid of more water, which is why you see usually a big loss in the beginning.
Mm. I did not know that's why. I had no
The
idea that that was why people lose more. I actually didn't know people lose quicker doing it that way than fat, because I know people do the fat, lower fat, or the, many different plans to follow out there. I didn't know that. Okay. Wow.
the
So
second stage,
phase one in general is when you get on that scale that first week and you're like down like 4 pounds and you're like, oh,
yeah,
if I lose 4 pounds every week, I'm gonna hit my goal by
absolutely.
like whatever. Okay, that's phase one.
Yes, that's phase one. And then the second stage is usually actually more frustrating.
Yeah.
So normally after the first few weeks, weight loss occurs, but then at a slower rate. And you're like, what's going on? In the first few weeks, I lost like 6 pounds and now I'm at one. What happened?
Hmm.
It's because this now you're actually into fat loss. You're not just losing water weight, you're losing fat.
Oh. And fat's harder to lose.
Yes.
Do you know why? Why is fat harder to lose?
There's a lot of factors that go into it. It's
Okay.
metabolism, it's the body's conservation of energy, it's hormones, it's stress, it's sleep, it's all the factors.
Okay. That we're in that story. Okay. So it's
Yes.
harder to lose your fat.
Yes. It takes more work.
I believe it. Well, the whole thing is sucks. Let's be honest. Like the whole thing. Like it's more work and then you eat something and it's not fun. It's not fun.
Well, the thing that also is thinking about is a lot of people will tell us, in the same 2, 3 pounds. I keep playing with the same 2, 3 pounds. The
Mhm.
problem is obviously fluctuation is normal. Those 2, 3 pounds are probably just water weight. It's not actually fat loss.
Right. So how do we get to fat loss? I guess. Like that's the main thing.
Well, I think there's a lot of factors that go into
Yeah.
us losing weight. And if you go out to eat, let's say you're having Chinese for dinner tonight, right?
Mhm.
And you
Mhm.
use soy sauce and you have a lot of more salt. Your body's going to retain the more sodium you have, the more water you retain. The less sodium, the less water.
Right.
So then you lose that water.
Mhm.
I mean, we've told people that, like, just wait, it'll just come
Yeah.
off because it's a temporary
If
blip.
you're doing what you're supposed to do, it's gonna come off. Right.
Mhm.
Right.
And we're humans, so many things affect us.
Oh, I mean, like you named it all in that story, but I mean, we didn't even talk about hormones in that story at all.
Yeah. No.
And I'm not talking about female hormones if there's any men listening. I'm talking about all hormones that men have as well, like that control your hunger levels and
Mhm.
your insulin levels. Like there's so many hormones in our body that affect it. So it is more than just calories in, calories out, which is what
Absolutely.
everyone says. Calories in, calories out, calories in, calories out. I don't think that's all it is.
No, it isn't. It isn't. You and I could do the exact same plan and eat the same foods,
Mhm.
but our trajectory is going to be different.
Right. And we're
It's
about
just
the same height.
you're taller than me.
Maybe by a half an inch, but not much. I mean, so we're not looking at 2 totally different body types here. We're looking at
Mhm.
very similar, and we would have totally different results.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
it's stress and sleep, and you have different hormones than I have now.
Mhm.
It's a lot of factors going into this.
Mhm. That's what makes it hard. If
Mhm.
it was just calories in, calories out, I think it would be easier.
Yeah, I
It would be
agree.
math. It would be simple math. But what weight loss is, it's like it's taking the math you learn in elementary school and it's converting it into calculus. And I don't know how
Absolutely.
any of that garbage, so that's probably why it's so hard. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Well, and I think the other piece of this is that it's difficult because it's not a
Mhm.
simple equation, but it's also a lot of work, sustained work, which makes it really frustrating. Like it shouldn't be so much work if you're just trying to get healthier.
Yeah, it shouldn't be, but everything is work anymore in life.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
just one more thing, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah. You were
so
talking about something interesting I want to know more about burning calories.
oh, okay. So I went down a rabbit hole about like I went to this calories in, calories out type thing, and I kept I didn't anyway, I searched in there like how to burn calories, and
Mhm.
I found a couple good YouTube videos and stuff on your body burns calories in 3 ways. Okay?
Okay.
Your resting metabolism, which is not controllable. And I think that's huge that I learned when researching this. Like I can't really control the way my body is built that way. And what your resting metabolism is, it's the your body's burning calories just by you doing your everyday things,
Mhm.
right? Just by walking to here to the dishwasher, from here to my car, just by using my arms as I'm doing this podcast. I There's really not much I can control about how fast or slow it does. Okay,
Yeah.
there are some factors, but basically we're where we are. The second one is food breakdown. Your body breaks down your food, and it's actually burning calories when it does it.
Mhm.
Which is why they always say to eat your food rather than drink your food, because your body
Mhm.
works harder when you're eating your food, right?
Oh yeah.
Doesn't that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yep.
Right? And then the last one is physical activity. But when I read the one article, physical activity is the third one. The first two make up more calorie burning than the physical activity.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
interesting.
It
Because
is, right?
you're like, oh, I worked out. I should be down 5 pounds.
Right. No, doesn't work that way. Nah, it burns hard. It doesn't burn very many calories at all. So there was a study done to prove the purpose of the study was to prove that the more movement you made, the fast your metabolism got better. Is that the right word working for? It like
Mhm.
improved, right? So they took a bunch of United States people that have desk jobs, sitting all day for a good 6 to 8 hours a day. And then they went to, now you say the country, Tanzania,
Yeah.
and they studied a group of people from that area of the country who are hunters and gatherers. They look for their food. They're constantly outside building huts and all of their stuff. Like we're talking like the kind you see on the Discovery Channel. Like you're really tall, lean, I
Mhm.
don't know what I'm trying to say here, but you get the,
Yeah.
and they studied their metabolism side by side for 30 days, which probably isn't long enough, but whatever. And they really discovered that there was really no difference in the metabolism between somebody that worked 6 to 8 hours a day at a computer versus the Tanzania hunters and gatherers.
So wait, so you're saying that an average American has the same metabolism as somebody in Tanzania?
Mhm.
Okay, that's kind
But
of
the Tanzanian
confusing.
guys and women are tall and lean, and they just look like it. So we would assume that because they're walking around all the time, they don't have cars, they don't have bikes, they're literally walking all the time, that they would have a
Yeah.
better metabolism, and it's not the case. The reason they're tall and lean is because of their food intake. They don't overeat.
Ah,
Their metabolisms are pretty much the same as ours.
interesting.
So metabolism really plays a huge role in this whole weight loss stuff.
Metabolism, but also what we're
Oh,
eating and
oh, what right, the food is yes, the food.
food and quantity and yeah.
Mhm.
Wow, that is super interesting.
I know. I thought that was cool actually, because I think we all wanted it to be, well, they're just tall and lean because they have better metabolisms than us.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're the same. My metabolism and your metabolism are probably the same. We just eat differently. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm sure they don't have bags of Doritos that they're popping open and eating on the couch.
I know I've mentioned this before, but okay, don't judge me. I'm judging myself. But I watch people to see like their habits because I like to learn from other people.
Mhm.
So, and don't get me wrong, I'm not watching you eat, but
Okay.
I like to see what people take and what they leave. And the people who are on the more fitter side, I guess, leaner side,
Okay.
um, I see their habits are a little bit different than mine. And I'm
Really?
like, yeah, like they'll take more salad versus me. And I've taken a little bit of salad and I've taken more of like the main dish.
Oh.
Or they might eat less dessert and I eat more dessert. Some of the habits are different.
Hmm. Interesting. I
And
bet,
I
yeah.
think part
Mhm.
of that, it comes down to you feel deprived. You're like, I'm not gonna get this again. And ice cream is for the summer and I'm not gonna have it when school starts. It's a deprivation mindset. Like I just need to have it now.
Right. Yeah, it
So
is a deformation. Yeah. It's actually a more of, I think for me, well, it's deprivation, but it's also pity.
what does
I
that
think I do a
mean?
lot of pity eating, like, "Poor me, I have to this is so stressful right now. Poor me. Life is gonna get changed. It changes every school year. Poor me." It's like a pity, like, I don't know if pity's the right word. Maybe it's not the right word, but,
You're
like,
anticipating the stress.
maybe, yeah. Yeah, that's probably more along what it is. But
That
but you know what I will say? Because I then went down that rabbit hole. I know this is a different type of way, but I really looked at your metabolism a little bit, which I don't really quite grasp metabolism. I don't. So when I was reading a lot of it, it really didn't compute in my brain. It's going to need me to do a big deep dive in it. But what I did know, and I've learned more and more, is that the more muscle you have on your body,
mhm.
the more your resting metabolism is a higher rate.
Your basal
Yes. So
metabolic rate.
right. So while I said it's really not controllable, if you have more muscle, you can control it.
S
It's going to burn fat.
a trainer once told me for every pound of muscle or for whatever, I don't remember the statistic, when you gain more muscle, you burn 100 more calories at rest. Now, I think that number is
So
a little skewed.
no, I feel like I remember an episode where someone said that to us. Yeah.
Mhm,
But the reality is, like, I keep looking at people going, "Oh, they probably have better metabolism than me," and I'm not staring at their body type and realizing that, no, they have muscle, and I don't.
mhm.
I don't. My mouth is about the strongest muscle I have from talking so damn much. But that's it. Like, if you literally look at me and poke me in places anywhere, you're gonna get a jiggle. You're not getting a
Mhm.
muscle. So really just sat down and I went, "That's gotta be a new focus going into the rest of this year, is I gotta get some muscle. If I want to be
Mhm.
able to burn more calories by just resting,
Yeah.
I need muscle,
Yeah.
period."
Yeah. I wanted to mention that thing I found out about the stress.
Oh, yes, because that's a big thing.
Yes, because you were talking about anticipating stress and that pity party, and we all do it. It's
Yeah,
not unique to you. But when you're eating in a deficit, and I don't want to go too much down this road. I think we should save this topic for another time, but it explains the cortisol.
okay,
When you're eating in a deficit, you leptin, which is the hormone that tells you you're full, gets
okay.
reduced. And the reason why that happens is because if you're in a deficit, your body's like, "Whoa, are you okay? Are we in starvation mode?
So
I'm
you
just
mean when
gonna
I'm not eating the right amount of calories for my body,
mhm.
my body is going, "Whoa, what's going on?"
Yeah. So
Okay.
in a mode of protecting you, it sends out the leptin decreases and cortisol increases.
Oh.
So
Oh.
when your cortisol increases, you don't have the ability to shut off the food because the leptin is like way down.
So I'm not gonna feel hungry.
No, you're gonna
Full,
feel
I'm not
more
gonna feel
hungry.
full. Right, I'm
You're
not gonna feel
yeah,
full. Yeah, because the leptin is what tells my brain, "Hey, we're full, we're good,"
yeah.
but I'm not gonna feel that.
And cortisol causes water retention.
Mhm.
So you could see that bump on the scale, like with that a story, the person had stress at work, and then they got on the scale and they were up like 8 pounds.
Right.
Stress can play a huge factor in water retention.
I really didn't know that. I'm not even just like, I had no idea that stress was water retention.
It can be, yes.
Right. No idea.
And this is the question that I had asked to come to this information. When you sometimes you have a weekend where you splurge,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, what happened? I lost weight. How did that happen? Has that ever happened
We're
to you?
stressed.
No. So when you splurge, when you overeat, or you just had a weekend where you didn't really monitor your calories as much, or they call it a refeed day when you just eat a little bit more calories, your body is satiated. So then it releases the leptin, which is like, whoa, we're full. We can stop now. You're full. When your leptin increases, the cortisol goes down. When the cortisol goes down, the water goes away.
It's all science.
It's science.
But you know what I heard without you saying it is why so many people go on vacation and they eat more, but they still lose weight because they're not
Yes.
stressed.
And they're probably
And their
moving
body is
more.
saying, hey, you're full, even though you just ate a dessert at a restaurant and you never get dessert at a restaurant. You're full because you're not
Yes.
stressed and it's not depleting the leptin, and then you're not holding on to water.
Yes. Absolutely.
So we all need to just quit our jobs and live on our own little island. No stress.
Yes. Also, I have some random facts. Can I go through
Okay.
them?
Yes.
So, a study found that even during a calorie controlled study, the participants' weight fluctuated by 0.35 to 1.35%.
Even within a, say that the first part you said.
So, a person in a calorie deficit,
Okay.
they're eating under or within their calorie expectation to lose weight.
Okay.
Their weight fluctuated just that much, 0.35 to 1.35%. 1.35% of a 150-pound person is 15%,
I don't know at all.
probably a little bit more.
I couldn't
I
even
mean,
guess.
it's
But yeah,
that's maybe 1.5. I can't do math, but
me
you
neither.
get the point,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So that fluctuation is normal and it's expected for everybody.
Which is why I personally do not like weighing once a week. I don't like it.
Hmm.
Don't like that be your one like be end all be all day. I just don't.
Yeah.
I think that it could be. I mean, if you weigh in, let's just say we weigh in every Monday. I could have had the best Thursday, Friday of my life, and then something happened Sunday, and the stress is out of control. And maybe I'm not even eating because I'm so stressed,
Yeah.
I'm not eating. And then it's going to show up on the scale, and then it's going to defeat me and make me want to just throw in the towel and say, forget it. I could have had a fight
Yeah.
with my husband that day before, and then I go weigh in the next day, and it's like,
And you've been crying and
yeah,
you've lost water and sodium. So your body's like, oh, gotta hold on
yeah.
to the water.
And then I go, forget it. I'm just going to eat because I barely ate anything anyway. And then on the way home from weighing in somewhere, you stop and you get a pizza.
Yeah,
Like, I really truly think that we need to weigh ourselves like 2 or 3 times a week and take that average
absolutely.
because I
Because
don't think it's, yeah.
if we're looking at the data, we need to look at the trend downwards, or
Mhm,
that's what we need to look at, not the specific numbers. Because if you're
mhm,
looking on a graph and you do points here and there, it does not going to make sense. You need to connect the dots to see, oh, yeah, I'm actually losing weight.
mhm.
I'm losing fat, I should say, not weight.
Right. Because that's the thing is that fat loss is what we all want.
Yeah. And um, I looked up, why does weight fluctuate so much in a day?
Okay.
Sodium, we talked about,
So true. Yeah.
carbohydrates,
Okay.
exercise. So if you have a really good workout, especially like leg day, okay,
Hmm.
you're going to gain weight the next day because micro tears happen in your muscles, which make you retain water to repair the muscles. And so then you'll get a bump on the scale.
Okay.
Food intake, which we all kind of know about that. Bowel patterns. Some days you didn't get enough fiber, you haven't cleared out your
Yeah.
bowels, your weight's going to be like up there.
Hmm.
Any kind of menstrual cycle or hormone issue, medications,
Yes.
and alcohol.
Hmm. And you didn't say sleep, did you?
I didn't even mention that.
Yeah. It reminds
Yes.
me of this one time I took a blank puzzle, like a picture of one. Like
Hmm.
like if you guys can visualize like a the jigsaw puzzles, like the pieces, and it was
Yeah.
blank. And in this puzzle, I filled in each puzzle piece was something that pertained to me that fluctuated my weight.
Okay.
So mine would have been like allergy medication, cold
Oh,
medication
yeah.
at the time, like, um, I don't know, like just, my sleep, all of those things you just mentioned, but I went into detail on my puzzle, right? And it was a great reflection of like, okay, these are all factors. And if I don't even have one of these, my puzzle is not complete. It's
Absolutely.
not going to work. And you guys have you ever put a puzzle together, and a 1,000-piece puzzle or even more, and you can't find one piece? It is so like, you feel like you just wasted all this time working on this
Mhm.
puzzle because it's not ever going to be done, and I feel like that's how weight loss is sometimes.
I totally agree.
We have to step back and zoom out and go, all right, but listen, like, I'm on cold medicine right now. It's
Yeah.
gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Or any other kind of medication
Right.
that can shoot your weight up.
But that is not real weight. We still need to be focusing in on that fat weight.
Yes. Because that water weight's gonna fluctuate, you
Mhm.
know, 4 or 5 pounds. It just it will.
Ugh.
You put on water weight when your body retains that fluid normally that goes to your kidneys, so you have an excess of water or sodium or whatever how it works out scientifically. Your body will hold on to whatever water it has if it's dehydrated. Your
Mhm.
the physical activity is key to losing water weight. So
Yeah,
just
you gotta
move.
move your body.
And it's counterintuitive to think if I'm retaining water, I should drink water. But if you drink water, you'll lose that water weight.
Mhm. It's so I still don't know if I fully understand how that works. And even, like, when people are dehydrated, sometimes they weigh more, and it's so here's another perfect example. Everybody always wants to get a colonoscopy because they lose weight. You
Yeah,
don't lose weight after a
you know,
colonoscopy. You
you
actually
can.
gain weight. It's the cleanest your colon has ever been, and
Yep.
gain weight because of all being dehydrated and fluids they pump you with, and you're just all of the chemicals in your body are way out of
Yeah.
control. Like,
Yeah. And I was reading also when we were talking about overeating.
mhm.
If you eat more on a weekend or whenever you go out, the next day your body's going to be in extra like burning mode, and then you're going to also pee a lot more
Hmm,
because it's flushing out all that water.
really?
Yeah.
Hmm, okay,
I think this is really interesting and fascinating to me. I have a few more random things if you're okay with
okay.
that.
Yeah,
Um, Weight loss does not equate with fat loss. So we
okay.
talked about that.
Talked
And
about that,
that's
yeah.
important distinction. Large variations in blood sugar, blood fat, and insulin responses to the same meal between different people can affect your weight. So you and I can eat the same thing, but because our body composition, our basal metabolic rate, or resting, whatever, it's different. We're going to react differently. Um, Insulin resistance, we didn't even talk about that, but we talked about that with Isaac.
Prozac, yeah.
The cells in your body stop responding to insulin. So then you have high levels of sugar in your blood, and extra sugar gets stored as fat.
I read that too. Yeah,
Maybe your exercise routine needs to change. So if you're doing the same thing, you're walking the same 5 miles every day, mix it up, do something different.
okay. I think we need
Um,
to this whole topic really made me come up with 3 more topic ideas just from this topic.
oh, really?
Yeah, the one is fat loss. I feel like we need,
Mhm.
like, a whole thing on, like, fat loss. I feel like it caused another topic for me, which is, like, well, we don't I mean, really what it is, like, I feel like sometimes once you lose the weight and then you put it back on, like, your body plays this, like, tug of war.
Oh, yeah.
Like, have you ever lost, like, 2 pounds and you kept it off, and then your body just wants to go right back up to those 2 pounds,
Hmm.
and you're doing the same thing you've been doing, and
Hmm.
it's like this tug of war game you're playing. I feel like that needs to be a whole topic in itself, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway.
I have one more thing. If
Okay.
you are waiting too long to eat in the morning or in between meals, so like people who do intermittent fasting and they don't eat until like 1 o'clock, for an example,
Okay.
that could slow down your metabolism. So if your body thinks you're in starvation mode, which we go back to being in the low deficit, It encourages your body to store calories as fat instead of using them for energy. So if your body thinks you're in starvation mode, it's going to say, wait, I got to hold on to this because I don't know what's happening next. We're not getting enough food.
So it's better to kind of stick with a routine for eating. Is that what you're saying?
Every 3 to 4 hours, even if you have had a weekend of overindulgence, just go back to normal the next day. And you will have that quote that you will always say to people
The
about the,
difference, which
yeah,
one?
yeah, that one.
The difference between successful people and unsuccessful weight loss people is successful
Yes.
people start over immediately.
Yes. And I
Yeah.
think that's absolutely true.
Yeah, everybody always wants to wait till Monday, and it's like, why? We need to just start over right this second.
I think the conclusion that I got from doing this research is there's a lot of factors that go into what happens on the scale. And
Mhm.
we put a lot of emphasis on that number, but are we taking into account maybe our genes are looser or we feel better or, you know, maybe we're stressed out, we haven't had enough sleep, we haven't eaten properly. There's a lot of factors that go into what happens on the scale.
Yeah, a lot. And it really is something that we really need to start being kinder to ourselves because of,
Yes.
right?
I think if we understand the science of it and it makes sense, then we can know what to do.
Mhm.
How do we fix the problem?
I think we have to fix the problem starting with our food, but that's just my opinion.
Mhm. And
That's my
honestly,
problem.
I think for a lot of people, it's the stress in their life.
Oh, well, yeah.
I think that comes before food for me because if I'm stressed, I'm going to eat.
That's exactly what Isaac was kinda saying too when we talked to him.
Mhm.
Like, that is the problem with most of it. We have to figure out how to alleviate the stress.
Yes.
Not get
Yes.
rid of, but calm ourselves down in a different way.
Absolutely.
Mhm. Well, this was interesting.
Well, thanks for indulging me. I
I learned a lot, and I also went down rabbit holes that we didn't get to. Another rabbit hole I went to was, under eating, so, I wanna go into that,
mm,
why you don't lose weight when you undereat. Shouldn't I?
yes.
I'm not eating, shouldn't I just lose weight magically?
Yes.
You know? So,
Yep.
that's another topic idea that I have.
We definitely have to talk about that one.
Yes. So what's your call to action this week?
You're gonna love me so much today. Okay. So I have not been sleeping well, and I can feel it in my desire for snacks, salty snacks, um, and some sugary, but not as much. And I think I need to create a sleep routine so that I can sleep and go to bed and stay asleep. Because I'm in bed, I wake up ridiculously early, like before you probably, and then I cannot get back to sleep. And I'm so exhausted, my body doesn't want to function. So
Mm,
I need to set up a sleep routine, get myself either a shower or wash my face or and then get into bed and I need to do some reading. I need to put my phone away. I need a better routine for bed.
good. I'm in I feel anybody that's working on their sleep, I think that helps with stress, I think it helps with so many things, but
Mhm.
I think the key you said was routine, and I think a lot of times we don't get the sleep we want, and then we try and nap through the next day, and that's defeat that you're not gonna get it bet together if you take those naps there, like, you
I
gotta
agree.
be consistent with it, which as
Well,
I said.
naps are one thing, but it's just that you're not why I'm walking through the day like a zombie and I don't want to do that.
Mhm.
What is your call to action?
Wait, real quick, we had a very interesting fact that one of our call to action members said that, in the elderly population he didn't say an age, did he? He said lack of sleep and quality sleep leads to 20% more falls. Remember
Oh,
when he said
yes.
that?
Yes, yes.
20% more falls in the elderly community when you are not getting the proper amount of sleep.
Absolutely.
And I think that's so telling on how
That's a
important it is.
staggering number.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
crazy.
yeah.
Mine is what I've done in the past. I'm going back to protein. I've
So what
been
does that
doing
mean?
my protein. I'm just gonna make sure I'm hitting my protein marks.
Okay.
and making sure that I'm planning it a little bit better. I kind of
Mhm.
haven't been planning for me, I've been planning for everybody else, but not me.
Yeah.
And I know I have to have protein, protein, protein in order to be successful,
Yes. And to
and
feel
I
good,
haven't.
feel
I've been
full.
doing, like, protein, probably no protein, and then protein at dinner, and it's just not working.
Yeah.
Uh, so,
Makes sense. Well,
yeah.
this is exciting.
All right.
We'll
We'll
see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week.